Hello, everyone. Welcome to Deconstructing the Dark Passenger podcast, the podcast about all things Dexter. I'm Jean.
I'm Victoria.
Today, Season 4, Episode 7, Slack Tide.
I don't know if that goes with last week or not.
I don't know, because I'm not even sure I guess I can understand what the point of it was, but whenever they have to explain the title in the beginning, in the opening monologue, that's probably not a good sign. I need to have Dexter's job, where he's just like, hey, I'm just gonna be out on the boat with my family, hanging out.
Call me when another dead body pops up.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a pretty sweet job here. But they're doing a lot of foreshadowing and thematic resonance throughout this season. So the point of the slack tide, he explains what a slack tide is. It's not high tide. It's not low tide. It's
the point where the tide is just slack.
It's coming. It's about to be high tide, but it's not there. It's coming in, and
it should be called mid tide then.
I don't know. This show does tend to. I mean, I know what they're foreshadowing and stuff, but this show does tend to strain its metaphors, and I think that's what they're doing here. I know they really want to do the boat metaphor because the boat is so important. Again, we got to break it down and explain it because we want to get in this line about things being suspended in time because it will be important on several levels. I don't know that it works too much. I don't know. It's a weird way to explain it, but it's fine. But he's out on the boat with everybody and gets called in because there's a crime scene. There's an arm and a gator.
An arm. Just an arm.
Ruined a man's dinner. He was
He shot the gator when it came onto his property. He started gutting it and found the arm.
So I guess no gator for him tonight.
No. Not unless he wants some arm.
It's got ligature marks on it, though, so it's not just some drunkard stumbling into the swamp and getting eaten. It's a lady's arm that was apparently tied up and fed to the gators. Dexter would know about feeding people to gators. And somebody says, I like this because, obviously, when this was written, they did not have reference to original sin, so it was like the way that original sin incorporated these types of things that you see later, where they said, this is the swamp with the gators would be a perfect spot to dump a body. And Dexter, Dexter knows it's not quite as perfect as you would want it to be.
Yeah, because this would not be the first body part that is found in Gator Alley for Angel.
For Angel?
Yeah, because in Original Sin they find...
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. Well, they all found it, yeah. It wasn't just for Angel. I mean, they found one.
Yeah. It was like one of the first cases Dexter worked, maybe?
It was the one where they were like, he was just there.
Yeah.
And they were just like, come on, he was an intern. Like,
yeah.
Just come on. Random intern. Why is this random intern here? Whatever, come on. Dexter's like, a head would be nice. Even Joey laughed at that.
Yeah, he thought that was funny.
Elliot, Dexter Rita's house. Christine has left a card for Deb. Leave her alone. Elliot and his wife are arguing next door. Okay, you kind of didn't. You noticed Elliot earlier. You're really noticing him now. I remember watching this originally and being like, I really hope Elliot ends up on a table at some point.
I watched it thinking Elliot would end up on a table at some point.
I did too. I was like, there's something about this guy. Well, there is something about him. We'll find out.
Yeah, we will. Soon.
I think it's kind of interesting. Dexter's really bad at that. It's funny because Dexter is so good when he's like stalking people and kind of sitting in the shadows and lurking, but it's like he's doing this shit with Arthur, he's stalking him, and he's getting in close to him and showing up at weird places and trying to explain himself. I'm like, if I was Arthur, I would be like, oh, you're creeping me out, man. Like, just
back off.
But he catches Arthur at a hardware store, and he's just trying to make these connections with Arthur to get himself in there. He's saying, having trouble with the kids, and because Jonah, they mentioned that the kids aren't there helping Arthur. And Arthur's like, well, the kids have their own lives, and he's like, it's our job as a parent to push them out into the world. And Dexter's like, okay. So Dexter's going to take this to heart, and in the meantime, Trinity tells him to show up at his own house the next morning. I'm like, okay, what are we doing, breakfast or what? The scene that this will end up in is very funny, but let's go ahead and take each thing in turn as it happens.
Deb's going back to work.
Everybody at the coffee bodega is very happy to see her. She gets a free coffee out of the deal. So Dexter is basically, Christine's already there waiting to attack, and Dexter kind of steps in between. She's like,
Blocks her.
He's like, just as a favor, don't do this. Don't
leave her alone. She's trying to heal.
Joey's getting very defensive about Christine. I was like, against your own partner, this not.
No, you need to be sticking up for your partner, not your hoochie.
Yep. I mean, it's like none of your business, Joey. Just
yeah, and Dexter tells him that too. Why do you care so much?
Yeah, and Dexter has had this information in his pocket, and he said he didn't care, but now he's like, hey, who's the guy that was taking money from the scene at the crime scene? Shouldn't be aggravating the other guy, should he? You know?
He shouldn't be aggravating the guy that saw him and hasn't said anything.
So now I'm like, oh great, now Joey's back on us. Joey's gonna be back on him now. We knew that. They call her, they tell, she goes in the office, welcome back, Detective fucking Morgan. We got an arm. This arm. She's like, why is there an arm here? So
yeah. She's like, why is there an arm on the board?
They have narrowed it down to this person who the arm belonged to had a date with a photographer named Jonathan Farrow. He makes these wild-ass pictures of women in various stages of abuse and violent murder.
It's very...
eating their intestines and whatnot.
Yeah,
even Dexter's like, oh, I don't know, man. But, okay. Everybody somehow has gotten the vibe now that Angel and Maria are fucking after they have stopped fucking.
I know. It's like they all took a little too long to figure that one out. And
it becomes this issue. I gotta say, though, this whole line here where everybody keeps, like, asking Angel and Maria if they're fucking, it is more entertaining to me than the storyline of Angel and Maria fucking.
Yeah, because Deb's like, Maria, like, I heard a rumor. She's like, well, stop. What does she do? Stop. She told her she heard the rumor about them fucking, and she's like, well, then stop talking about it. It's just, it's not true. We're not doing that. But the way she walks off tells Deb everything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I don't know, like, why you wait? Don't worry about it. It's none of your business. So what if they're fucking? It's none of your business. The reason that they had to stop fucking is because people like you care too much about it. Just let people fuck.
Lighten up on Deb. She just noticed they wouldn't look at each other. Lighten up.
Anyway, so this Pharaoh guy shows up at the station. So Dexter has decided that Trinity has completed his cycle for the moment. So there's no need to, like, wrap it up real quick.
Yeah.
Right? So he can focus on Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's at the station. And Dexter believes he has things to learn from Trinity. Harry's like, I taught you. Yes, what you should learn from Trinity is how to not be like him, which is what I spent the last 10 years of my life teaching you.
Yeah.
So this Pharaoh guy, when they're questioning him, he's very funny. He says, nothing sells rum in this amazing accent. I can't mimic it. I won't even try. But nothing sells rum like a nice booty, which I thought was very funny.
Yeah. I did too, especially with the accent. Yes. It was great.
Nice booty.
He looks at Deb and says, I could do something with your booty too.
Yeah, this guy's a piece of work. But anyway, Joey, everybody is giving Dexter heat about this apartment situation. I think this apartment situation, they're making everybody, the show, all the characters, everybody is making a mountain out of a molehill. It makes sense to keep a hold of that apartment in the market that they are in. Because, yeah, like, for example, Deb might need a place to stay, or, whatever. Either way, it's a valuable, I know he doesn't own it, but it's a valuable thing to have access to as long as you can afford it.
It's in a good area, too.
It's in a good area. It's a good thing. Like, if you could get that, it's a good thing to try to hold on to. I think everybody's being very strange about it. Joey's giving him a hard time about it. Joey just wants to give him a hard time about anything. But, so Deb is moving in, and Dexter's like, once Joey leaves, Dexter's like, are you going to, like, have people over? Like, what's
all the time?
All the time. I mean, just, it's Joey you're worried about, you know.
Like, Dex, it's Deb. Of course she's going to have her booty calls over.
Okay, so Deb is still going into, she's still doing the Trinity stuff, like, investigating it. She's going to run it by, like, Guerta, with the added information that she believes that Trinity shot her in Lundy. And Dexter's like, no, don't do that.
Don't put that in.
You'll sound silly. Don't do that, Deb. So Deb, she still has the CI files, which Dexter sees.
Yes.
She's like, well, I got a coffee date with one of his CIs. And Dexter's like, well, obviously not my mother. But it's this woman named Val Hodges, right?
Oh, what a piece.
What a piece. We'll talk about Val Hodges because we're going to get to her in a minute.
Yeah.
Side note, Elliot's girlfriend in the meantime has moved out. Rita cares too much about this information. Dexter gives not a single shit. He is trying to get the kids involved in things. His idea is if he can be like Trinity, who actually has some alone time because the kids are out doing their own thing, then he can get a lot more done. Dexter, here's the thing. Trinity's kids are teenagers.
Yes.
It's a very different thing. It's a couple years difference, but it makes all the big difference in the world. So he tries to get Cody involved in this Young Sailors Club, which Cody is very excited about. Astor doesn't like anything. She's 12 years old, 13, whatever. She's like, why do you hate me? And she stomps off.
I thought the ballet thing was a great idea. If anybody had ever come to me with that when I was that age, I would have been like, yeah, let's go.
So we're at the next morning. Dexter and Trinity have met. They're in Trinity's van. Dexter's like, 2 serial killers go for a ride. How's this one end? I don't know.
Yeah, because they're going into the woods.
They're going into the woods.
It's a little sketch.
And when he opens the back of the van, there are axes and chainsaws.
There's like 4 different axes and chainsaws, and he tells Dexter, choose your weapon. And I'm like, oh, shit. Not good.
Yeah, so Dexter takes the axe. He explains the chainsaw. I'm familiar with it, but it has a short reach. It's not very versatile. I'm like... True, I guess I can see that. Yeah, you got to swing it around.
So he took the axe, but Arthur took the chainsaw.
Yes. Okay, this is so funny because
it's hilarious.
Arthur's trying to start the chainsaw. He can't do it.
4 times.
4 times. Dexter's like, hey, let me give it a try. Lights it right up, chops this tree down. Arthur's expressions, he's just like, oh, okay, fine. All right, fine.
So pissed.
I mean, he is infuriating. And it's funny later when you realize why he was cutting down the tree. You're like, now I understand why he was so upset.
Yeah,
because like he wanted to do this whole thing himself.
Yes,
but he couldn't. But he was just. I mean, he might as well been. I've been trying to get the ball in. We're playing beer pong, and I've been trying to get the ball in all day. And then Dexter just. I mean, that's the exact expression. It was like, oh,
so much disgust.
Just disgusted. And this is the blow to the ego. But Dexter tells him, like, I'm having trouble getting the kids to go along with any of the suggestions I make for their extracurriculars activities. And Trinity says the obvious, especially for kids that age. He's like, then they're not suggestions. You just tell them that this is what they're going to do. In this line, he's like, they're kids. If you left them alone to do what they want to do, they'd suck their thumbs and diddle all day. Yeah. Probably.
Suck their thumbs and diddle all day.
So Dexter's asking a lot of stupid questions. Well, why this wood? Is it better than the hardwood store? Blah, blah, blah. Yes, it is, Dexter. Yes, it is. Absolutely. If you have the wherewithal to go and chop your own wood and finish it down and everything else, that's obviously better than the fucking hardware store. On the way out of the woods, they hit a deer. Hit it hard enough that it's disabled but not dead. And Dexter's like, well, you gotta put it out its misery. It's in pain. Arthur cannot do it. He can barely look at it.
He's in tears.
He's in tears. Harry is appalled and embarrassed for everybody.
He's like, Dexter, kill him.
Kill him now. You got an axe. Kill him now. Doesn't do it. He does kill the deer, though.
Yes. And then he hands the axe back to Arthur.
Yes, who just doesn't even know how to feel about anything.
Yeah, I mean, you kill people. You've been killing people for 30 years. And you can't kill a deer that you just hit and wounded?
I mean I think that's the thing too, is like this killing an animal that's suffering like that. I mean, it's a hard thing to do, but completely normal people do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, like you said, somebody who's killing people, and not just killing people in a very personal and brutal and cruel ways.
And I mean, it's 3 in a certain timeline.
Yeah. He can't stop somebody's suffering. He can't stop an animal's suffering. That's too much for him.
Yeah.
So he's a profoundly stunted, selfish person, you know.
Yeah.
In a way that Dexter is not. We understand what Harry was trying to do, but again, we're seeing that Dexter likes killing you know, he had a history of killing dogs and stuff like that. But to leave an animal there to suffer is a terribly cruel thing.
Yes, it is.
And Dexter, I don't think he got any joy out of it. He just knew that this had to be done.
Yeah.
So again, we're seeing there's something in Dexter. No matter which way you kind of look at him versus Arthur, you know, obviously he's a fuller, more complete person than Arthur.
Yeah, and I mean, Arthur goes from 0 to 60 in no time.
Yeah, the man.
And I mean, you know, he's almost in tears, and Dexter's like, you got to put it out of its misery. And he's like, I can't. And Dexter's like, do you want me to do it? And he's like, would you do that for me? And I'm just like, what the hell just happened? Like, he turned into a 2-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, they had talked earlier in the episode about things being frozen in time. That's, you know, Arthur seems to be frozen in time.
Yes.
We'll see how literal that gets later, maybe. In the meantime, this Pharaoh stuff, they've discovered more missing models. All these women are from like Central and South America. They're all, they've been brought into the country illegally to do this stuff. So, obviously, the benefit to that, if your plan is to kill them, is that there's no recourse.
Yep.
They're just gone.
Yeah, and nobody can do anything about it because their families aren't here.
Right.
So when they disappear, there's nothing that can be done.
Right, exactly. So it all makes sense that this is how he would roll. Maria castigates Deb. She's like, you should, you know, as a woman in a male-dominated field, I would think you would practice a little more restraint, but I guess not. Anyway, so Dexter goes to Pharaoh's to do his investigation. For his side work, not for his actual job. Yeah. And he's spraying luminol everywhere. He finds blood spots. He finds a fingernail
in a corkboard.
I mean, is nobody
cleaning up in this hood? You know, I mean, it's the studio plus Pharaoh lives there,
right? But you know, the studio, so other people come in and out. You know,
didn't somebody see that
a fingernail sticking out? But the fingernail does match. The arm, there's a chipped nail in the arm, so it matches. Okay, he's our guy. We're getting flashes all throughout the episode of Arthur in his garage making something with the tree. You know, yes. We'll see by the end what it is. Deb is meeting with Valerie, the old hairy CI. What is this lady's deal? What is it? She goes on cruises because like old rich men like to spend money on me.
Yeah,
and then she's like, yeah, I can. She's still, whatever she was doing for Harry, drugs, she's still deep enough in that world that she's like, I can offer, you know, I can help you out.
I still have my sources. Oh, but I'm going to want to be paid more than I was before.
Well, obviously, it's been 30 years. Obviously, you would get paid more.
But that's not really a thing. If they're not doing the report and you are a CI, you're going to get paid whatever they're paying.
You're going to get paid, well, yeah. But she confirms that she was one of his girlfriends and that he had a lot of them, and he basically picked his CIs based how good they were in bed. Yeah. And Deb's like,
Deb's like, okay, thank you. And she gets up and she walks off. She's done.
And she's like, well, so you're not going to hire me? No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. And, of course, you know, Deb runs to Dex, and she's like, he had multiples. And Dexter's just like, huh?
Yeah, Dexter seems to be like, oh, so my mom wasn't special, which kind of makes the whole thing worse. She got chopped to pieces, and you had, like, 5 side pieces.
I thought the same thing when Deb tells him that, and he's like, oh, and I'm like, oh, she was just one of the many side pieces.
I mean, you don't get that impression from Original Sin, you know,
yeah.
But
from Original Sin, you get it. It seems like he really loved her, like genuinely liked her and stuff.
We'll have to when we revisit Original Sin, but I definitely not get the sense that he was just side pieces all over the place. But,
yeah.
So Harry, while Deb is telling Dexter this, you know, Head Harry is like, oh, I've disappointed my children. I'm like, this doesn't, because Dexter's like, this doesn't sound like Harry.
Yeah.
And Harry's like, thanks, Dex.
Yeah.
I mean, Deb is pretending that she's going, well, not pretending. She is for the moment kind of giving up on the CI search. And so Dexter's like, hey, I'll take the records back for you. Laura Moser's file is on top. And he's like, and Harry's like, you have to destroy that file once and for all. So he's like, okay. And he starts shredding it. He can't let her picture go.
Nope.
I remember, again, watching this the first time, and he puts that picture in the shirt. I was like, oh, no, and I was so happy when he grabbed it. And he's like, I can't do it again.
Yeah, he's like, I just can't watch her get chopped up again.
Yeah, anyway. So, okay, back on the home front, he's asked her a guitar. She's like, why? Why would you do that?
She actually asked him what it is, and he says, it's your guitar.
Oh, man.
For your stuff. So, it looks like somebody's getting guitar lessons.
Somebody's getting guitar lessons, but not young Cody, who is a young sailor, and they've got a camping trip for the young sailors planned, and Dexter has been volunteered for it by Rita. She's like, I have shit to do. What are we talking about?
She's like, they need a boat and an adult. And I'm like,
you're an adult
really?
with a boat. Okay, but I get all that. And yes, Dexter, you should understand that children at this age, as opposed to Trinity's teenagers, there's more parental involvement in the activities. I get all that. But also, Rita, speaking of husbands and partners and things like that, did you not think to mention this to him?
I know, really? And then he's like, but I have things to do this weekend. She's like, a famous line to use your child against them. But Cody will be so disappointed.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh, she's already on it. No, she guilts Dex. And he's like, okay, well, I've got to go prep the boat and kill Pharaoh tonight.
And then kill Pharaoh. Chock full. This season is chock full of amazing moments. This one lives in my head rent free. Dexter goes to this club where Pharaoh goes to. I don't know how. Both him, Joey is following him. Both him and Joey slide on into this club. I'm like, this is not the kind of club you just slide on into.
Yeah, Dex tells him I'm on Pharaoh's list.
Well, you have to actually be on the list, and you are not. So how did you get in there?
They didn't even have a clipboard to check list. I'm guessing if somebody knows Pharaoh's name, they're just going to let him in.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm just going to go up.
I don't know how Joey got in. He probably slipped him a 50.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So this is so funny. Dexter says there is a homeless person puking in Pharaoh's car. And Pharaoh starts freaking out. But in the meantime, so he spots Quinn. And he's like, oh, shit. So he's leaning against the bar and he sees this woman there. And he's like, can you believe he's here? And the woman's like, who? What are you talking about? Him. It's Quinn.
I love that.
And the woman's like, oh, hey.
I've never heard of him. And he's like, you should.
You should.
The girl goes right over to him.
Joey realizes it takes him a second, first he gets a boner, then he's like, oh my God, the lab geek just ditched me. The moment has passed, though. I mean, he's like, no, Joey has seen me here.
I can't kill Pharaoh yet.
Tonight's not the night, he says. I gotta actually prep the boat for the fucking young sailors. They go camping the next day. I thought, the point, this is funny. I understand both sides of the equation because, on one hand, they're supposed to be learning about how to camp. And so Dexter's trying like, this is how you set up a tent and this is how you do this. And Cody's just like, can I go throw dirt clods with my friends?
Dexter's like, fine. And then Harry tells Dexter to fix the tent. He's like, you forgot the loop. I was like, wow.
So, Deb has, in the meantime, she's boiled this Trinity thing down to the bludgeonings. So she's not framing it as this big reopening the Trinity murders and all this shit. She's like, it's the bludgeoning we're looking into.
Yeah.
That way she can look into everything related to it without saying, I'm looking into the Trinity stuff. And so, Huerta won't get all upset. Back at the campsite. They're telling campfire stories. The other father there is telling the standard hook, the couple making out in the hook story. And Dexter's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Then it's Dexter's turn.
So he basically tells an amazing campfire story version of the Trinity Killer. It is amazing. I love it.
Except
it's very dark.
Very dark for children.
Because it is about the Trinity Killer. He's not really mincing words. And the other father is like looking more progressively appalled.
Yes.
Because then Dexter gets to the final where Trinity, the man of three or whatever he calls him, he raises up the hammer and he brings it down, and the other father's like, and he smashes his thumb.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, that is not how that went.
Okay, so I agree that this is a very dark story to tell children, but most campfires, from this angle, are very dark stories to tell children. You've just told them a story about a couple in a car, hook hand serial killer that's going around killing people. I know the story. Everybody knows the story.
Yeah.
How is that any worse than what Dexter was, or any better than what Dexter was about to say?
I have no idea.
I mean,
no idea.
No idea. There's some great campfire stories. Everybody's amazing nostalgic for these little stupid campfire stories I used to get told when I was a kid that were like, they're so creepy at the time. I thought they were so scary, and I hear them now. I'm like Dexter. I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
But they were so good as a kid before you could make sense out of anything,
Like, why does she have a golden arm? What is going on? Why is she... Anyway, look, I was not going to talk about every time they're going back and forth showing Trinity making this project of his, and I'm not, except I wanted to point out in this one particular flash of him, they show him, he's got a tongue and groove joint here that he's making.
Yeah.
It looks great. Everything is nice and even, but he did not put any glue in this joint.
That's what you're coming out with?
Look,
I was looking at it. I was like, wow, I wonder if I can learn how to do that. And you're saying he just didn't put glue in it.
I mean, okay, I understand. Like, he's obviously a skilled craftsman, and some, they're very confident in the strength of their joints, but I always say he's not doing what he is making. He does not need to necessarily be, it's not some great piece of craftsmanship. It really needs to be functional, and you got to make sure you got those strong joints. Just a little dab or two of wood glue in that joint. I mean, that joint is still doing most of the work, but you just got a little bit of reassurance there.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, I don't know why he didn't do that. Anyway, Dexter sneaks off. The boat is parked. They're camping about 20 feet off the water where the boat is docked.
Yes.
It's a little single pier. It's basically a little fishing pier. It's just enough for Dexter to get the boat docked there. So, and it's not that far. They're right off the water. And Dexter does he unties the boat. This is not, it's not like a little dinghy, right? I mean, it's not a big, huge boat, but it's not a dinghy either. So it's not like he can push it off and jump in the water and swim out a little ways. He's got to start the engine.
Yeah.
So he starts the engine. He goes through all this trouble of pretending he's pushing the boat off, and he jumps in. He's 20 feet away, and he starts the engine. I'm like, somebody heard that motor.
And we just want to remember this for later,
yes,
too.
Remember this for later. At the time, it's like, somebody definitely heard this motor. Dexter.
Yes.
Surely you had a way to get farther out into the water before you started the motor.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous because you can see in the setup, he's not that far. He can look and see everybody right there.
Yeah, they are.
Dexter goes to Pharaoh's, gets him. This is a great setup. It's reminded me of the psychiatrist that he killed in an earlier season. He gets this great light table. And he's got him. I did want to call this out. So Pharaoh's giving his blah, blah, blah about why he does what he does. I have to believe this was on purpose because they're talking about take a picture and there's always a perfect moment. And once you miss it, it's gone forever.
Yes.
And you get it and it's frozen in time. I'm like, okay, this is obviously a reference to this theme that we're doing this season with the Trinity Killer and Dexter himself. But that the way they phrased it, like the perfect moment, and once you miss it, it's gone forever. I'm like, that had to be a 6 feet under reference.
You think so?
That very last episode where Nate says in Claire's ear, because she's taking the picture of the family, and he says, "You can't. It's gone. It's already gone.
Yeah.
This moment's already gone. You can't take a picture of it." That's what I feel like this was. I feel like this was definitely referencing that, which would make sense with Michael C. Hall being there. I think it would be cool if that's what they did here. If somebody actually slipped this in, that would be cool. But I don't know. Dexter's like, well, nothing lasts forever, and he kills the man, gets back on the boat, and then we find out that Arthur was making a coffin. Like I said, it needs to be functional. Just a dab or two of glue in those joints. Just a dab or two. You don't want them to pick up that coffin and the body rolls out, falls apart. Anyway, Deb is back at the apartment having a moment with Lundy's tea kettle.
Got one of his shirts on.
She's got one of his shirts on. Yeah, it's very sad. We had a scene, I think it was the last episode, with the elevator doors closing on Angel Maria. We get a little echo of that here with the elevator door closing on Maria at the station. Who was making these decisions this season? These artistic decisions, because they're really knocking it out of the park. Anyway, next morning, Dexter is making camping pancakes.
Cody wakes up and goes outside thinking Dex is gone, but Dex is making breakfast. Dex has to get back to the station because he's, I guess, are we camping in the middle of the week, or does he have to go in on the weekend? What's happening? It was a weekend camping trip.
Okay.
I remember Rita's words perfectly, so I'm guessing that when he goes in, it's Monday.
Okay, I guess
we missed a night.
We missed a night. Okay. Goes to the station, and they are bringing in Pharaoh's assistant. He's been arrested for the murders.
DNA evidence, everything.
And, yeah, Angel's like, man, it is airtight. And Harry at the end here looks so sad, because Dexter realizes he has killed an innocent person.
And he's having a hard time dealing with it.
He will have a hard time dealing with it. We had a lot to do this season. I think they did it well. I think, truly, probably, you could have had a whole season of him wrestling with the consequences of killing an innocent person, like a completely innocent person.
Yeah,
this could have been its own season.
Yep, it could have been.
And I'm sad that it wasn't treated with more fullness. I mean, it gets touched on later throughout the series, but I think not having a full season dedicated to it was a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, because I mean, you can see the, I don't want to say pain, maybe his own self, how much he's wrestling with the fact that he broke a rule. He killed an innocent.
Well, I think, and we get some of this later, initially it's the reaction of like, oh my God, I did the unspeakable thing per Harry's code, is that I killed an innocent person. That's why you see Harry specifically, his thoughts of Harry, how Harry would actually feel if he had seen this, that you had killed an innocent person. But I think the reaction becomes another glimpse into actual guilt, an actual organic conscious, not this one imposed by Harry.
Yeah.
But a real conscious. That's why I say, I'm like, I know they touch on it in a lot of different ways throughout the series, but man, I just really feel like a full season of that would have been great.
Yeah. And he later says that if he had just put Trinity on the table, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be, regret is going to be another great theme of the season, too.
Yes, it is.
On everybody's side, a lot of people.
Yes, it is.
But, again, another great episode. We're 7 for 7 here. Right?
Yes, we are.
I didn't look at my usual nitpicks and stuff, but, like, it's pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I love this season.
Yeah, for sure.
I really do. The episode was great. They threw in the Pharaoh stuff because he's got to have, a victim of the week. But I like how they ended it because he's got regret, and you see that in his eyes. So You're seeing him go a little bit more and more.
He's going to have some revelations, that's for sure. But
yes, he does.
Again, we'll talk about the end. It just going back through these seasons so far, and especially going back through this one. It's just, I mourn the choices. I mourn the roads that weren't taken, but we'll get there when we get there,
Yep.
Anyway, next week we'll be talking about episode 8. In the meantime, you can check out our other podcast. We have The Final Assessment, which is our podcast about the show Evil. And we have Outside Food and Drink, which is our movie podcast. And check those out while you're waiting for episode 8 to come out if you want. We got backlogs on all 3 podcasts extensively. You won't run out of things to listen to anytime soon. You can also drop us a line. Am I crazy that Dexter and Quinn could have just walked into this club and the bouncer was just like, whatever?
Maybe.
Hey, carpenters. Hey, am I wrong about the glue here? I respect the craftsmanship.
I like the craftsmanship. I would love to learn. I'm sure he probably did need a little bit of glue.
I think a little bit of glue, better safe than sorry. Especially for something as important as liking a dead body around.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't make their own coffins.
That's true. Anyway, if I was to make my own coffin, I would definitely put the glue in there because I don't want my body rolling out. So.
Okay, well, that's a good thing to know, except for you're not going to be buried.
I know. All right, so in the meantime, yes, you can drop us a line, follow us on our socials. All that information will be in the show notes. Until next week, we talk about episode 8.
Later.
Later.